And so the AI portion, I was making an analogy that when I kind of look at some of the stuff that ChatGPT does, is that I see it kind of like that I could do a bunch of different searches on Google and go through the resources, the information that Google brings me and try and put it together and look at it all, where ChatGPT kind of pulls all of that together and kind of gives it to you at once. Is that a...
Yes. If I could also just apply some of really up and coming, it's actually current also. There's just some nascent startups that are in the healthcare space for that are using AI in terms of, we talked earlier about the medical field and mental health, just outreach, et cetera. And there's been some good and not so good results coming from the early launches of ChatGPT and chatbots in the mental health field. But there's also great opportunities in the aging space. So as a caregiver, and I mentioned that I've been in the caregiver, I was part of Aging 2.0, which is basically age tech space. And they're using things from like artificial intelligence robots. Some cases, they're like robotic pets that they can come in. Other cases, I've seen them in the form of a stuffed animal, so that they actually pets and nurture to help with those people suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. There are an ability to connect. I mentioned the connection part and coordination of helping those with the ADLs, pill reminder, exercise, doctor's visits, things of that nature, anything that will help. There's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence and its ability to keep people in their homes independently longer, which is a huge deal. And so that's one area of AI that I know has been discussed a lot amongst the medical profession. In the real estate side, it's also pretty nascent. You've got chatbots, for instance, to help with leasing. So, and property management. So a lot of people, they feel like they're entering a big black hole when they're looking for information on apartment availability. And this is an ability to utilize and leverage chatbots and AI to be present 24/7, always responsive. And so that the people that are actually on the ground are there to sign leases, things of that nature.
Rather than answering the phone and responding to emails. And
it could just be repetitive.
And especially in today's world where there's an employee shortage, if you can find something that you can automate versus having to have a person do it, that's a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's lots of other uses. ChatGPT is easily used to create like broker email campaigns and reach out to tenants. I used it recently to write a legal termination contract. So my level of productivity is, I already see it in a very short period of time. I probably save easily 4 hours of my work week using AI. And if you think about all of you listeners, think about how much you're charged on a per hour basis, multiply it by 4 hours. That's a half a day. That's a half a day that I could be doing something else, either spending time with family or work, more meaningful work, or in this case, looking for real estate.
Finding that next deal.
Yes, I had to do that plug.
No, that's awesome, because I think, and I talk to a lot of doctors, and there are doctors who seem scared by it. And because it's an unknown, and they're thinking about the Terminator movie, that the machines are going to take over. And so it's just fun when you talk to somebody who's actually knowledgeable about it and they're using it and they're kind of on the cutting edge of what it is. And you're excited about it and about what a great tool it is and how it improves your productivity. And so it's almost like we're just going down this path that instead of having to send a person to the X-ray file room and bring back a hard X-ray and hang it up on the wall, and then get it back to X-ray, we now have a computer program that we can just look at that X-ray anywhere in the hospital or at home or on our phone, anywhere. It's just the next step in electronic tools that are going to help people do better and remove some of the work that other ones we'd have to do.
let's talk about the elephant in the room. The one thing that I know doctors hate is the notes afterwards and filling out forms and the paperwork and all of that. Well, I mean, AI right now, even in its nascent form, they have a note-taking tool. And that note, I mean, maybe it's not the best, but you can pretty much compare it to a doctor's handwriting, which we know is notorious. It's better than most people's handwriting, let's put it that way. And if you had a note-taking tool in real time that captures all this information, you can format it, cut and paste it, and then help you with your paperwork so that you can actually focus on the people side of the business as opposed to the paperwork side. I mean, right there, how many hours can that be?
And so comparatively, the quality of that tool right now is basically like a Commodore 64 computer.
Or Unix, something like that.
So it's really just in its infancy of what it'll be able to do for us.
Sure. I mean, there's a big trend right now in the space where they're trying to identify patients that need some help and some treatment, but they don't like staying in the hospitals because of the noise, lack of sleep, all that, the constant prodding. There's a little bit more push and trend to save money and cut costs in terms of making people feel more comfortable and getting treatment at home. Well, AI can be utilized for that, the monitoring and note-taking, et cetera. So, and the communication to everyone involved. So I see it as a complement. I definitely see it as a complement as opposed to replacement of humans. I don't have the same Terminator view that most people do.
The thing I'm most excited about is the possibility in the prior authorization space that right now you're trying to get a procedure approved. And so somebody it gets denied. Somebody sits on the phone for an extended period of time waiting for somebody to be on the phone from the other side. And then you go back and forth about, it didn't say. Well, if instead automatically the AI is populating all of this, that it already knows everything that's needed.
Yeah.
And it's putting it in there. And if it's missing, it's telling you need this. So during the visit, you get that information and you make sure it's there. And now it's there.
Yeah.
Now the prior auth is just done. And maybe you got AI computer, insurance computer, and your computer fighting it out for a little while. But it seemed like that process has to get better when you put it in the AI space.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that. There's a new phrase called generative AI, and that's the ability for the machine learning to learn. It's an iterative process. So think about your example of the CPA who doesn't know real estate. Well, there are a lot of doctors that have certain specialties, but they may not be like absolutely the best or the foremost leader in that particular topic. And if a person in, let's just say Switzerland or New York, or you choose which city, who's the top specialist, starts sharing that knowledge, I mean, the ability to heal and treat people at a faster rate, more efficiently, that cuts costs, that cuts time, improves the lives of people, improves your life because you're not running around wasting time trying to get on the phone or figure out and do the research because the research is already done for you. So I see a lot of benefits. I mean, there is a healthy amount of skepticism and fear. And the White House today just published some press release on how the top 7 AI creators right now, Google, Meta, et cetera, that they have committed to creating safeguards. I mean, I agree that is needed. I see healthcare being the more cautious of adopters because of HIPAA compliancy and all of that for a good reason. I mean, You don't want to create another Theranos, right?
Well, that's exciting. And thank you for sharing that. I guess we go off topic from real estate, but since this is intended to be a show for doctors, I just got excited when I saw that in some of the notes before the show, like, well, let's talk about this because it's something that's coming along and most of us don't know a whole lot about it. And it's always nice every little bit we can gain to know a little bit more and know what's happening.
Yeah, no, I didn't create an AI for the medical field, but I did create the AI for real estate and for social marketing, et cetera. And I'm happy to share that with your listeners. It's a fun topic. I enjoy. I'm not getting paid to do this research or anything like that. It's the nerdy side of me. It's in collaboration with a couple of other techies and ex-techies. So I do not take full credit. And it still will always be a collaborative approach because I'm always open to learning new things.
Well, that's fun. So yeah, send me that and we'll include it in the show notes so it'll be there and be available.
Absolutely. It's a real pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle. This has been awesome. I've really enjoyed it. Any last thing you want to add out there for docs, real estate?
I mean, honestly, I would be more than happy to be of service for anyone who's learning. I'm sure, Mike, you and I can collaborate in terms of future deals, and I'd be excited to share what my team and I are working on. But also, I mean, I've got a lot of great education for your listeners for free. They could start wherever. They're nice little contained capsules of learning. And so I would invite them to go and sign up on my website. I send free education emails every week. And this week it'll be on the economy. Last week was on technology, and it could be on future deals next week. So it's just usually those three areas, those three topics, though.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I've enjoyed having you on the show. And thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
This has been an episode of Surgeon Syndicate. If you got value from this episode, you know other surgeons are hungry to become job optional, and you can help them by sharing this content today. Schedule a call and we can make a plan. Looking forward to having you with me on the next episode.